Most men think that fixing erectile dysfunction means turning to pills or supplements. But what if I told you the real solution might be as simple as your water bottle? Yes, the way you drink water and how much you drink could be silently sabotaging your erections. And here's the surprising part. Most men are doing it wrong. In this video, I'll break down the exact way you need to hydrate to support blood flow, hormone balance, and long-term erection health, all backed by science. Let's get into it. When we talk about men's sexual health, particularly erectile function, one of the most overlooked yet incredibly important factors is something as simple as hydration. Most men don't realize that the amount of water they drink daily and how they drink it can have a profound effect on their ability to achieve and maintain an erection. Erections are all about blood flow. The more efficiently blood can travel through the body, the easier it is to become and stay aroused. Water plays a central role in this process, and not getting enough of it can silently undermine performance. At the most basic level, an erection occurs when blood fills two chambers inside the penis called the corpora cavernosa. This process requires healthy blood vessels, optimal blood pressure, and a well-functioning circulatory system. When you're dehydrated, even mildly, your blood volume decreases. Think of it this way. Your body is made up of nearly 60% water, and your blood is over 90% water. Without enough fluid in your system, the blood becomes more viscous or thicker. This makes it harder for your heart to pump it through the body, especially to the peripheral areas like the penis. Less blood flow means weaker erection. Dehydration doesn't just reduce blood volume, it also affects your body's ability to regulate temperature, remove waste, and deliver oxygen and nutrients to tissues. When these systems are under stress, your body isn't focused on sex. Instead, it's trying to survive. So, in a dehydrated state, the body may prioritize essential organs like the brain and heart. While blood flow to the genitals is reduced as a non-essential function, this can contribute to erectile dysfunction even in younger men who are otherwise healthy. Another crucial aspect of hydration and erectile function is the role of hormones. When you're dehydrated, your body releases a hormone called vasopressin. This hormone helps your kidneys retain water, but it also causes blood vessels to constrict. Narrower blood vessels mean less space for blood to flow, which directly impacts your ability to get and maintain an erection. Additionally, dehydration can increase the production of another hormone called angiotensin. This hormone raises blood pressure and has been strongly associated with erectile dysfunction because it also constricts blood vessels. Essentially, the hormonal changes triggered by dehydration put your body in a state that's not conducive to sexual activity. Even beyond blood flow and hormones, there's a psychological component to consider. Dehydration can lead to fatigue, headaches, dizziness, and irritability. None of these symptoms support a healthy sexual response. Feeling tired or mentally foggy can dull libido, impair arousal, and interfere with sexual confidence. In contrast, when you're well hydrated, your energy levels are higher, your mood is more stable, and you're more likely to be mentally present and physically responsive. A lot of men may think, I'm not thirsty, so I must be hydrated. But that's not necessarily true. By the time you feel thirsty, you may already be dehydrated. Waiting for thirst to drink water means you're constantly playing catch up, which isn't ideal for long-term vascular health. Instead, drinking water consistently throughout the day helps maintain blood volume, supports stable blood pressure, and optimizes every system involved in sexual performance. There's also the impact on the pelvic floor to consider. Hydration affects muscle function throughout the body, including the pelvic muscles that play a key role in erection and ejaculation. If you're dehydrated, your muscles are more prone to cramping and tension, which can cause discomfort or even pain during intimacy. Keeping your muscles well hydrated helps with endurance, control, and comfort during sexual activity. This isn't about overloading on water or following extreme hydration habits. In fact, drinking too much water in a short time can dilute your electrolyte balance and be counterproductive. What matters is consistency. Sipping water steadily throughout the day rather than chugging large amounts at once allows your body to absorb and use it efficiently. It's about giving your circulatory system the support it needs to deliver blood where it matters most. Supporting your erections doesn't always require a prescription or expensive supplement. Sometimes it starts with foundational lifestyle habits. Hydration might not sound groundbreaking, but its role in sexual health is undeniable. When your body is hydrated, your blood flows freely, your hormones stay balanced, and your muscles, including those vital for sexual function, work at their best. Small changes can make a big difference, and drinking water the right way is one of the simplest and most effective ways to support long-term erectile health. Erectile dysfunction is a complex issue that can have multiple causes: vascular, hormonal, psychological, but one of the lesser known contributors is something incredibly basic: dehydration. Most men don't realize how even mild dehydration can interfere with their sexual health and make it significantly harder to get or maintain an erection. It's not something we usually connect with performance, but the reality is that fluid balance plays a fundamental role in keeping your body, including your sexual function, working at its best. When you're dehydrated, a chain reaction of physiological changes starts to take place. First, there's a reduction in blood volume. Your blood is mostly water, over 90%. So when you don't have enough fluid in your system, your body has less blood circulating through your vessels. That directly impacts the heart's ability to pump blood efficiently, especially to the extremities. And an erection is all about blood flow. If there's not enough blood reaching the penis, achieving a firm erection becomes physically difficult, if not impossible. The narrowing of blood vessels is another consequence of dehydration. Your body begins to prioritize essential systems like keeping your brain and heart alive. So blood is shunted away from non-essential areas, including the reproductive organs. Dehydration leads to the release of vasopressin and other hormones that constrict your blood vessels, further limiting circulation. This restricted blood flow becomes a major obstacle when your body needs to rapidly deliver blood to the penis in response to arousal. One of the more subtle but significant effects of dehydration is the rise in angiotensin II, a hormone that increases blood pressure. While that might sound helpful for pushing more blood through your system, the problem is that it does so by tightening the arteries. These constricted vessels increase resistance in the circulatory system, making it harder for blood to move freely, and erectile tissue depends on rapid, expansive blood flow to become engorged. Angiotensin II has been directly linked to erectile dysfunction in research, particularly in men with underlying cardiovascular risk factors. Hydration also affects the body's ability to regulate nitric oxide, a molecule that helps dilate blood vessels. Nitric oxide is one of the key drivers of erections. It relaxes the smooth muscle in the penis, allowing blood to fill the erectile chambers. If you're dehydrated, nitric oxide production can be impaired, which reduces your ability to get or maintain an erection. And since nitric oxide is also involved in lowering blood pressure and improving circulation, its absence can ripple out into broader health problems. But it's not just the physical effects. Dehydration takes a toll on your brain too. When the brain lacks sufficient hydration, cognitive function can decline. You may feel more tired, less focused, or even irritable. Dehydration has been shown to affect mood and increase anxiety, both of which can interfere with sexual performance. When your mind isn't fully engaged or your confidence is reduced, arousal becomes more difficult. Even if your body is physically capable, your brain's reluctance to cooperate can make things fall apart quickly. Some men also notice that when they're dehydrated, they feel bloated, sluggish, or uncomfortable. This physical discomfort can reduce libido and affect your ability to feel fully present during sexual activity. On top of that, a dry mouth or a parched throat, small symptoms of dehydration can trigger low-grade stress responses that pull you out of the moment. Your body wants to feel relaxed, safe, and ready. Dehydration puts it into a low-level survival mode. It's important to understand that you don't need to be severely dehydrated for these effects to kick in. Even a loss of 1–2% of body water can cause measurable changes in your mood, blood pressure, and cognitive function. That's roughly the equivalent of skipping a couple of glasses of water over the course of your day. It's subtle, which is why many people miss it, but it adds up, especially if it becomes a regular habit. Preventing dehydration doesn't require extreme behavior. You don't need to carry a gallon jug around all day. Instead, it's about consistency. Drinking small amounts of water throughout the day, especially after waking up during physical activity and in hot environments, can help maintain your fluid balance. It's also important to listen to your body. Thirst is a delayed signal. By the time you're thirsty, you're already playing catch up. So many men search for a fix when they notice changes in their erection quality. Pills, supplements, diets, but sometimes the solution begins with the basics. Hydration is one of the most overlooked aspects of sexual health, yet it has a powerful impact on the very systems that drive performance. By staying hydrated, you're supporting healthy circulation, hormonal balance, mental clarity, and muscle function, all essential components of a strong, consistent erection. Taking care of your body in the most fundamental way can sometimes offer the biggest return. For most people, drinking water is a background habit, something done without much thought. A glass in the morning, a bottle during a workout, maybe some sips with meals. But when it comes to optimizing your health, especially your sexual and pelvic health, it's not just about how much water you drink, it's about when and how you drink it. The timing, consistency, and method of hydration all play a powerful role in how your body processes water, regulates hormones, maintains circulation, and ultimately supports your sexual performance. The body thrives on rhythm. Your heart beats in a rhythm, your hormones fluctuate in a rhythm, your sleep follows a rhythm, and hydration should be no different. Drinking all your fluids at once and then going hours without water is a pattern that can confuse your body. It spikes and crashes your hydration levels, forces your kidneys to work harder to remove excess, and prevents your tissues from staying evenly nourished throughout the day. The result? Instead of supporting blood flow and muscle function, poor hydration habits can leave you bloated, dehydrated again in a few hours, and less able to perform when it matters most. Start with the morning. After 6 to 8 hours of sleep, the body is naturally dehydrated. You've lost fluid through breathing and sweat, even if you don't realize it. That foggy feeling when you wake up, often a sign of mild dehydration. Beginning your day with 1 to 2 cups of water helps jumpstart your metabolism, rehydrate your tissues, and set the tone for better circulation throughout the day. And if you're someone who goes straight for coffee, remember, caffeine is a diuretic. It can promote fluid loss, especially if you're not balancing it with water. So make water your first drink of the day, not your third or fourth. Spacing your water intake throughout the day is just as important. If you go several hours without drinking and then suddenly try to make up for it by chugging a liter all at once, you're not helping your system. Your kidneys can only filter so much water at a time. The excess gets flushed out quickly, and your cells don't get the consistent hydration they need. Drinking water in smaller, regular intervals keeps blood volume stable, supports normal blood pressure, and helps oxygen and nutrients reach your tissues, including those involved in erections and arousal. Another common mistake is drinking too much water right before meals or during sex. A very full stomach or bladder can physically interfere with comfort and blood flow. It can also lead to bloating, pressure on the pelvic organs, and even increased urgency to urinate, all of which can distract from the moment. If you know you'll be sexually active later, make hydration part of your preparation earlier in the day. Avoid heavy drinking of water or fluids within 30 to 60 minutes before intimacy. This helps reduce bladder pressure, improves comfort, and keeps you mentally focused. Hydration also plays a role in hormonal balance. The endocrine system, which controls testosterone and other sex hormones, is sensitive to the body's fluid and electrolyte status. When you're dehydrated, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol and vasopressin, which can suppress reproductive hormone production. By keeping your fluid intake steady, you create a more stable internal environment that supports testosterone levels and overall sexual function. But again, it's not about drinking too much, it's about drinking the right way. What many people overlook is the type of fluids they consume. Sugary beverages, sodas, energy drinks, and even some flavored waters may contain high levels of artificial sweeteners or stimulants. These can increase inflammation, blood sugar spikes, and even contribute to dehydration. Water is always the gold standard, but if you're active or sweating heavily, a well-balanced electrolyte drink without excess sugar can support hydration more effectively than plain water alone. There's also a behavioral component. Sipping water slowly rather than gulping it down encourages mindfulness and body awareness. You begin to recognize true thirst cues. Notice how your body responds to hydration and start aligning your water habits with your energy and performance needs. It becomes a proactive tool, not just a reaction to thirst. The way you drink water sends signals to your body. It tells your brain what kind of day you're having. It tells your blood vessels whether to dilate or constrict, and it tells your hormones whether you're under stress or imbalance. This matters, especially when it comes to performance, arousal, and recovery. Making water a regular, intentional part of your day isn't just good for general health, it's one of the simplest, most powerful ways to support sexual wellness over time. When you treat hydration as a habit, not an afterthought, you give your body what it needs to show up, not just in daily life, but in your most intimate moments too. When it comes to improving male sexual health, conversations often center around testosterone levels, supplements, and pelvic exercises. But one of the most foundational and often neglected aspects is hydration. Water plays a vital role in regulating hormones, including testosterone, and in maintaining the health and function of the pelvic muscles, which are essential for erections, ejaculation, and overall sexual performance. The body's ability to perform sexually is not just about desire or blood flow, it's also about how efficiently every internal system is working, and hydration is deeply intertwined with that efficiency. Testosterone is the primary male sex hormone responsible for libido, muscle mass, bone density, mood stability, and most crucially, the maintenance of erectile function. What many people don't realize is that the endocrine system, which governs hormone production, is highly sensitive to the body's hydration status. Even mild dehydration can create a state of internal stress. In response to that stress, the body starts to prioritize survival mechanisms over reproductive ones. This means that when water is lacking, stress hormones like cortisol begin to rise, while testosterone production can slow down. This hormonal imbalance may not be noticeable immediately, but over time it can contribute to reduced libido, decreased stamina, and weaker erection. Additionally, water is essential for transporting nutrients and hormones throughout the body. Testosterone is produced primarily in the testes, but it must travel through the bloodstream to reach receptors throughout the body. Blood, being mostly water, needs to be fluid and well circulated for this delivery system to work efficiently. When you're dehydrated, your blood becomes more viscous, making circulation sluggish and less effective. This doesn't just affect your heart and brain, it affects your sexual organs too. Poor circulation to the pelvic region can mean reduced stimulation, weaker arousal responses, and less satisfying sexual experiences. Hydration also impacts the detoxification process. The liver and kidneys are responsible for filtering out excess hormones, metabolic waste, and toxins that could otherwise disrupt your hormonal balance. These organs require adequate water to function properly. Without enough water, toxins can accumulate in the body, hormone recycling becomes inefficient, and imbalances become more likely. This can lead to issues like chronic fatigue, mood swings, and impaired sexual function. Supporting detoxification through proper hydration is a simple yet often overlooked way to promote optimal testosterone levels and overall vitality. Pelvic health is another area where water plays an essential role. The pelvic floor muscles are responsible for supporting the bladder, bowel, and sexual organs. For men, these muscles are key for controlling urination, ejaculation, and maintaining firm erections. Just like any other muscle in the body, the pelvic floor relies on hydration for proper function. Dehydrated muscles are more prone to cramping, tightness, and fatigue. In the pelvic region, this can lead to symptoms like urgency, discomfort during sex, difficulty with ejaculation, or even pain. Maintaining proper fluid levels helps ensure that the pelvic muscles remain supple, responsive, and capable of contracting and relaxing when needed. There's also an indirect relationship between hydration and pelvic inflammation. Poor hydration can lead to constipation and straining during bowel movements, which puts additional pressure on the pelvic floor. Chronic straining can lead to muscle dysfunction and nerve irritation, both of which can impact sexual health. By staying hydrated, stool remains softer and easier to pass, reducing the risk of tension and overexertion in the pelvic area. This simple practice can protect the integrity of the pelvic floor and reduce the risk of long-term dysfunction. Another benefit of adequate hydration is improved urinary health. A well-hydrated bladder flushes out bacteria more efficiently and reduces the concentration of irritating substances in the urine. For men dealing with symptoms like urinary frequency, urgency, or post-void dribbling, hydration can be part of the solution. When urine is too concentrated, it can irritate the bladder lining and surrounding pelvic structures, potentially aggravating nerves that also play a role in sexual response. Drinking enough water keeps the entire pelvic region more comfortable and less reactive, which has positive ripple effects on sexual function. Hydration isn't a cure-all, but it is one of the most accessible and impactful things men can do for their sexual and hormonal health. There's no magic number of glasses per day that fits everyone, but generally drinking consistently throughout the day, adjusting for activity level, environment, and personal needs helps maintain balance. Paying attention to your urine pale yellow is a good sign, and how your body feels can guide your habits. When your body is properly hydrated, your hormonal systems function more efficiently. Your muscles, including those in the pelvic floor, work more effectively, and your overall sense of vitality and readiness improves. Supporting testosterone and pelvic health doesn't always require complicated strategies. Sometimes it starts with the simplest habits done consistently, like drinking enough water every single day. You don't need expensive pills, risky treatments, or magic diets to improve your erections. And sometimes it starts with the most basic health habit: water. Drink regularly, drink smart, and give your body the foundation it needs to perform, not just in the gym, but in the bedroom too. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, small habits create powerful change, one glass of water at a time.